Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the AEW review for the 13th of January 2021, the second in the New Year's Bash type shows. It's funny. There's stuff I love about AEW, and then I just shake my head at some of the other stuff that makes television. They are very good at advancing their main event storylines. They are really bad at picking what goes on the program that isn't a main event or semi main event storyline. Their mid card and who goes there, and their low card and who goes there is just goofy. So we open with earlier today, Eddie Kingston said he'd beat Pac and send him home. Pac with the Lucha Brothers defeated Eddie Kingston with Butcher Blade and Bunny. I like Eddie Kingston as a character. I do not like him as a wrestler. He should not be on national television as a wrestler, although I love him as a manager, coach, speaker, commentator, presenter, interviewer. All of these things he would be good at because he's using his best asset, which is his voice. In the ring, he's average to, with the right person, above average, but should not be on national television in my estimation. Pac goes nuts before the bell, hits a shotgun dropkick, lands a Fosbury flop to the outside, back in the ring. Pac continues, puts the boots to Kingston, hits a missile dropkick. Kingston hits a second rope knee drop for his trouble. Kingston and Pac go out of the ring. Bunny gets involved in the match. Kingston distracts the official. Phoenix complained about this. Kingston hits an exploder suplex and hits it on the floor. All the teams exchange words. Kingston hits a neck breaker, being targeted and going after Pac's neck. A series of chops from Kingston allows him to maintain control. Strike battle in the center of the ring. Pac fights back. Forearms, makes a comeback with some strikes and a German suplex. Pac lands mid-level kicks. Kingston comes back and strikes. Backdrop suplex for near fall. Pac stuns Kingston on the top rope with an enziguri. Follows up with a superplex. And then continues with offense and hits a lariat for a 2 count, and then hits a running drop kick before landing the Black Arrow. Post match, Pac locks in the Brutalizer. Butcher and Blade run in, and they all square off. Lance Archer's music hits, and he comes out with Jake Roberts. Archer chased off Kingston and his bunch. Pac was good before the pandemic. I don't like his whole deal with the Lucha Brothers. I think the Lucha Brothers are great for Lucha. I don't think they translate to an American audience as regular characters. I don't think they've been portrayed well. Butcher and Blade, you could let them go and it wouldn't matter. Bunny, I'd keep her because she's charismatic. As I grab my phone. In any event, we will be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Although I think, to be fair, I'm the type of person that expects every segment to have some significance leading into at least a week from then. And when I don't see that from matches, I get frustrated. Anyway, Miro with Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford. Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford are people I would get rid of. With versus Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy. If Miro wins, Taylor has to be his butler until Sabian and Ford's wedding. I assume this payoff is him ruining the wedding. It's fine. It's kind of goofy. I wouldn't put it on in 2021. It had its place in the 80s, but it feels like a throwback angle that doesn't apply today. Anyway, Miro poses. Taylor attacks, hits strikes. Miro probably sells more than he should. Miro goes to the floor. Miro goes into the staging. And then Taylor hits a tope. continues the attack on the floor. Miro goes into the ring post and hits a diving knee drop. Taylor goes top rope, gets distracted by Sabian on the floor. Miro takes advantage, hits a Samoan drop, and then hits a thrust kick and locked on the game over for the win. I mean, truthfully, this makes Taylor look pretty weak, and unless there's a good payoff at the wedding angle that launches him into another story, I think you've kind of killed off the good that you got from the Pride and Powerful street fight several months ago. So, Matt Hardy and Private Party, hey, that rhymes. They're interviewed about Hardy signing their team. Hardy has to speak first. Private Party is still excited about being involved with him. Quinn complains about the percentage he's taking. They called Hardy a money grubbing carny, which I found funny. Hardy said that Private Party is nothing before they got to him and all of that, and they have to listen to him from now on. Matt Hardy is wasted in this role, although I'll be honest, I don't know what I would do with him in this point in his 40s in AEW. I almost think that his, I guess the advanced story and the Mick McCon and all the Hardy stuff that was done in Impact is better than where he's at now, because but I also think putting him with Private Party is wasteful. If this was even 5 years ago, Private Party would still be in VFW halls in the independents somewhere around the country. They would not be on national television, and the fact that they are is an indictment of how, in a lot of ways, weak the pro wrestling scene is of people that are ready to be on national television. Anyway, Inner Circle, New Year's resolutions. Jericho asks who wants to start. Jake Hager simply yells championships. Yeah, and I like this. I hope that he stays the strong, almost silent and deadly type. MJF wants to strengthen his bonds with everyone in the Inner Circle. He wants to get rid of fat people. That won't make him too many friends. Ortiz wanted to perfect a recipe. Jericho is winning the tag team championships with MJF. Santana takes offense to this. He basically says he and Ortiz are the Inner Circle's tag team, and he understands what's going on here. Or Sammy says he knows what's going on here, and Jericho's a tag team, well, hop around. I won't use the word he used because it's not PG friendly. Anyway, MJF stands up for Jericho, and the rest of the group calmed each other down. Jericho said any one of them could team and win the championships. Next week there will be a three-way match to determine who is the official tag team of the Inner Circle. I don't like this. When the Inner Circle formed, it meant something. Now with so many factions, they feel like a faction just for the sake of being one, and it's pointless. Dark Order's interviewed, and again, speaking of pointless, they don't have a leader, they don't really have direction. Unless Adam Page becomes their leader in the absence of the late Brody Lee, which I think that could be something interesting. Dark Order is interviewed about what's next. Everybody said they're going to hang out in Brody Lee's name. Silver's extremely excited that, in fact, Adam Page shows up. Reynolds asked when they know for sure when he'd be in, if he'd be in the Dark Order. They settle on next week. Good video plays telling the multi-month feud between Darby Allin and Brian Cage. This was well done. Omega's entrance, and Callis says that his best friends are there in the world, the Good Brothers. It was supposed to be the Bucks. Bucks arrived and thought they were teaming with Kenny, but instead it's the Good Brothers. Bucks are shown in the back. They're upset by this. And ultimately, Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers Gallows and Anderson with Don Callis defeat the Varsity Blondes, Griff Garrison, Brian Pillman Jr., and Danny Limelight. Glad to see Limelight get his share of the spotlight on Dynamite. Try saying that 3 times fast, but that's really cool. Omega and his team attack before the bell. They take control really early. Limelight basically looks really good in the ring with a couple of hope spots. Varsity Blondes get sent packing by the Good Brothers, allowing the match to kind of get restarted. Blondes maintain control on Omega for a little bit. They tag in and out, look like a really good team here. Limelight tags in, and Gallows allows Omega to hit the Kudo Crusher. Omega, Gallows, and Anderson keep on the attack through the commercial. Back from the break, Limelight hits a springboard Rana and avoids a German suplex before nailing a kick, allowing him to reach Pillman for the hot tag. Pillman goes nuts on his opponents before tagging Garrison. They hit a Doomsday Blockbuster for a 2 count on Anderson. Omega runs into the ring, and his team regains control momentarily. Triple neck breaker. Big boot from Anderson gets another near fall. Good Brothers go on the offense, attempt the gun stun. Limelight tags in. Anderson cuts him off. Good Brothers hit the Magic Killer for a 3 count. This was fine. Although it's funny, Tony Schiavone missed an opportunity to plug Hard to Kill. I don't know what he called it. Something like We're Still Alive. I think I would have poked fun at them and said Hard to Watch. Anyway, Omega said Good Brother celebrated. Moxley's music hits. He runs down, gets outnumbered 3-on-1. Lucha Brothers, of all people, run out to even the odds. I don't understand why they would run out. Then the Bucks finally run out, trying to break things up. I would have had the Bucks do it, because the Bucks siding with Moxley against Omega, and the Good Brothers, who just double-crossed them earlier, would have made more logical sense. Lucha Brothers down the Young Bucks with some super kicks and a wild brawl. And while the champion and Callis slink away, the waiting room with Dr. Britt Baker. This is no better on television than it is on Dark. Rebel introduced Baker, starts the segment. Baker introduces Cody Rhodes as the guest. Baker congratulates Cody on Brandy getting pregnant. I've never understood why that requires congratulations. It's simply biology. It's a social norm that just doesn't make sense to my brain. Anyway, Cody's about to talk. Jade Cargill comes out, grabs the mic, says some questionable language, says no one cares about Brandy or her pregnancy, says she needs an opponent, Brandy needs to watch her, and then Cargill slapped each other. Then Red Velvet comes out, they slapped each other and do another pull-apart. They cut to a video of Baker's attack on Thunder Rosa before this happens, and Rosa basically says that Baker and Rosa would wrestle each other at Beach Break on February 3rd. Baker complained and said this wasn't happening. She's really good at whining. Baker closes the segment. I don't like this fit. It doesn't feel natural. Speaking of not feeling natural, Marco Stunt being on Dynamite doesn't either. FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler with Tully Blanchard defeat Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt. Stunt, some people say he's holding his own. I say he looks like a guy who doesn't belong on national television. Again, give him the role of a mascot. Have him be somebody's mini manager. Have him put him under a mask, bring in another small person, and have him do a feud like they did with Hornswoggle and El Torito years ago. Like, I don't know. This is not a person that belongs on national television as a credible wrestler, and I am insulted for the idea that guys as good in the ring and smooth in the ring as Daxon and Harwood and Wheeler are even forced to waste time with this type of stuff. They wrestle around at the start. And then Harwood shoves Stunt in the corner. Stunt does fire back. Looks okay, I guess. Harwood gets mad at this. FDR begin to do a beatdown on Stunt, and they make frequent tags. Dropkick allows Stunt to escape to Jungle Boy, gets a hot tag. Jurassic Express double up on some kicks. Stunt uses assists from Jungle Boy to dispatch both members of FTR. During the break, FTR takes control of the match again. Double team maneuver on Stunt. Stunt escapes. Corey Special with a roll up. Avoids the power bomb. Reaches Jungle Boy again for the second hot tag. Jungle Boy lands a series of strikes. And then hits a backstabber on Harwood for the 2. Then we go to Jungle Boy and Harwood fighting on the top rope. Jungle Boy lands a top rope Rana. Wheeler breaks up the pin. Harwood rolls up Jungle Boy. A handful of tights. And then there's a kick out. Stunt tags in. He goes for a sliced bread. Harwood counters it and levels Stunt with a lariat. I wish he'd hit him harder. Harwood beats him down in the corner. Stunt fights back. Gets another near fall. Rolls the outside. Tully rams him into the ring post. Glad to see Tully getting physically involved, at least a little bit. Jungle Boy confronts Tully, but runs into a lariat from Wheeler. Proceeds to send him into the barricade. FDR hits the big rig on Stunt for the win. Right team won. Match takes too long with a guy like Stunt in there. It looked goofy. NWA Women's Championship. Serena Deeb against Tay Conti with Anna Jay. Tay Conti's getting better, but I don't see any real future in her. Chain wrestling, and Deeb does bring the best out of her here. She can be carried. Tay Conti can be carried to a decent match. Commentators are basically putting over the martial arts disciplines of both women. Deeb applies a cradle for a 2 count. Conti fights back, applies heel hook. Deeb counters into a chin lock, and Conti goes into a judo throw. Conti goes for a triangle sleeper. Deeb escapes, lands a lariat, and then they exchange pinfalls again. And there's a pump kick at a point by Tay Conti, and she manages to maintain control. Phil Nelson into a stunner. Gets a near fall for Conti. Deeb counters with a modified abdominal stretch muffler. And then Conti reaches the ropes. She continues with a Serenity Lock into a cradle. Deeb hits a gutbuster for near fall. Deeb puts her on the top ropes, uses the ropes as leverage. Tay Conti tries to go for TKO. Deeb counters into a Deeb talks for the win. At least the right person won. Probably the best match of Tay Conti's career, certainly. But it's clear that she still needs to be carried to something passable to average. Next week on Dynamite, Jericho and MJF versus Santana and Ortiz versus Guevara and Hager. Matt Hardy and Private Party against Matt Sydal and Top Flight. Brody, -1, Brody Lee Jr.'s birthday celebration match. Dark Order, Silver, Reynolds, and Colt Cabana and Hangman Page versus Hybrid 2 and Chaos Project. Nyla Rose and Leia Hirsch. John Moxley in action, and Miro with Chuck Taylor have an update forthcoming. Not a bad follow-up show to the last 2 weeks, but certainly they struggle at times, especially with a pay-per-view in, about a month and a half? It certainly needs to start taking shape. Main event time, which they run right up to the top of the hour. Match is great. Guys work hard. Taz joins commentary. Pre-match. Only 2 members of Team Taz can be out there. Starks and Brian Cage are out there, and Powerhouse Hobbs is not allowed to be out there due to an edict by the championship committee or the board of directors or whomever. Allen immediately goes for a low tope dive. Cage catches him and sends him into the barricade. Cage sends him midair, suplexes him onto the floor. Allin lands a slap. Allin clotheslines him down. Cage uses a fresh slam and uses his power. Then they go to the floor, table on concrete. Allen's busted open. Cage tosses Allen back in the ring, continuing the beatdown. Cage hits an uppercut and a gamagiri, followed by a suplex, release style, and basically Allen repeatedly gets thrown in the corner, and then Cage does the ground and pound. Allen goes for a dive. Cage catches him in an F5, and Allen kicks out at 1, which basically kills the F5 as a move, but it serves the purposes for the scrappy fighter that Allen is. Cage hits a series of 3 power bombs. Final release on the 3rd. Allen basically flips the bird to his opponent. Cage power bombs Allen onto the ramp. Cage brings Allen back in the ring with a suplex. Allen kicks out at a 1. Cage pulls out the ring steps, sets Allen up for another F5. Allen fights out and bit the hand of his opponent, sends him into the steps. Allen lands a coffin drop onto the steps, onto Cage. And then Allen, with some strikes, gets caught in a coffin drop attempt again. Allen bites his way out, hits a stunner. Allen then ties a belt around the ankles of Cage. Cage fights back anyway. Cage removes the belt, and Allen hits a code red for near fall. Allen drops Cage in the corner and hits a double stomp. Starks tries to get involved. Lights go out. Sting comes down, hits his adversary with the, or in this case, Starks with the bat. Allen counters into a crucifix powerbomb from the top rope to retain the championship. Snow falls. Allen and Sting stand tall in the ring to end the show. I don't mind this ending, and I love the match, but I think you've got to do more with Sting, like coming up next week. He's got to start talking about why he cares about Darby Allin. Otherwise, it just feels like a repeated rerun over and over and over and over again, and that's not good for anybody's business. We'll be back with the NXT report right after this.